Welcome to the Walking Dread podcast.
Ooh.
It's a strange show where each week we're going to delve into an addictive horror story, nightmares, terrifying tales, and ancient curses that'll shake you to your core.
Right.
All in a fun, scary way with masterful storytelling that keeps things wonderfully spooky.
Sounds good.
Rate and follow for more Walking Dread episodes.
Definitely.
And joining me to navigate these shadowy corners is our expert, Julia.
Hello. I'm ready to explore something truly unsettling with you today.
Excellent. Because you and I are about to step into a story that begins with an incredibly tempting offer.
Okay.
An invitation to the best party ever.
That does sound fun.
Sounds fantastic, right? But as you can probably guess, this particular party has a deeply horrific twist.
Oh, no.
Trapping its attendees in a relentless cycle of excess with truly terrifying consequences.
It's fascinating how the promise of absolute perfection can so quickly invert into a nightmare. It's a narrative that resonates because that allure of something too good to be true often masks a far more sinister reality, something we perhaps instinctively sense.
Okay, let's unpack this initial invitation. The story centers on Emma.
Okay.
Who, like many of us when we have a bit of downtime, is looking for some excitement. A break from the usual routine.
Sure.
She gets a text.
Okay.
An address, a time.
Right.
And that bold claim, the best party ever.
Oh, wow.
It's at an old mansion.
Oh, okay.
The music is already going strong. And there are people there she vaguely knows. Seems like your typical teenage get-together, wouldn't you say?
The choice of setting is interesting right from the start. An old mansion in horror narratives often serves as a visual cue, doesn't it? Suggesting a place with a history, isolated from the ordinary, where the normal rules of the world might not quite apply.
Absolutely. But it's the drinks that really signal that this isn't just another house party. Emma takes a sip. And suddenly, the world isn't just a little bit better. It's perfect.
Perfect? What?
That immediate, intense euphoria has to ring alarm bells, right?
I mean, it does feel inherently unsustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to last.
Exactly. Any experience promising instant, effortless perfection should immediately raise a question in your mind. Where is this coming from? What's the catch? In these kinds of stories, that immediate high almost always points to a supernatural or unnatural influence at work, something overriding our usual senses and expectations.
And the party just keeps going, hour after hour. No one feels tired.
Okay.
There's just the constant thumping of the music, the flashing lights, and this overwhelming feeling that this incredible moment will simply never end. On the surface, it almost sounds utopian, but that complete lack of fatigue, that sense of time standing still, it creates a deep sense of unease, doesn't it?
It does. It's the removal of those natural human limitations that really throws up a red flag. Our bodies experience tiredness for a reason. It's a vital signal. When those signals disappear without any logical explanation, it strongly suggests an external force is manipulating those natural laws. And as you said, that force is rarely benevolent in stories like this.
Right.
What does that absence of fatigue truly allow for? Endless participation, perhaps against one's own will.
Exactly. Then the first signs of trouble emerge as people start passing out. Initially, Emma reasonably assumes they've just had too much to drink.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe the mysterious host is, stepping in.
Yeah.
But then morning arrives.
Oh.
And the party is still going full throttle. The kids who went upstairs aren't nursing hangovers. They're hyper alert, their eyes unnaturally bright. That's the moment when the first real seed of dread is planted for Emma. No one seems to be leaving.
The transition from what appears to be an endlessly good time to the dawning realization of an inescapable situation is so crucial in building the horror. The initial attraction becomes a gilded cage, and those seemingly positive signs, the lack of hangover, the unnatural energy, become further, more disturbing indicators that something has fundamentally shifted for everyone trapped inside.
Right. And then the sounds begin from upstairs. Not the typical sounds of a party winding down, people quietly leaving or crashing, but violent crashes.
Oh.
The unmistakable sound of desperate smashing of windows and doors. As a week goes by, the atmosphere is completely transformed from a party to something more like a siege.
Wow.
Some are still dancing, completely lost in the music and the intoxicating atmosphere, seemingly oblivious. But others are huddled together, whispering about the terrifying noises coming from those upstairs rooms.
Oh, God.
It's clear that something has gone terribly wrong with those who were taken up there.
This is where the initial vague sense of unease solidifies into a more defined and far more terrifying threat. The sounds of panic and desperation, coupled with the hushed, fearful whispers, create an intense atmosphere of mounting dread. The stark contrast between those still in blissful ignorance and those gripped by terror underscores the insidious and selective nature of whatever is controlling them. What do you think makes some susceptible, while others, like Emma initially, retain some awareness?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's a matter of degrees of surrender to that initial euphoria,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a fundamental resistance in some individuals.
Right.
The story hints at that with Emma's later defiance.
Okay.
But hunger becomes the first real crack in the facade for many.
Uh-oh.
No food deliveries arrive,
Yeah.
and the once-stocked fridge is now bare. A stark and cruel reminder of the basic human needs that this endless party has ignored.
It would be.
Fights break out, not playful, drunken scuffles,
Yeah.
but something far more primal and desperate. Emma, fueled by a growing fear, somehow manages to cling to her sanity amidst this rapid descent into chaos.
The introduction of such a fundamental need as hunger acts as a powerful catalyst for the breaking down of the party's artificial illusion. It's a visceral reminder of the physical reality that the intoxicating drinks had temporarily suppressed. The outbreak of violence highlights the rapid erosion of social order and the terrifying loss of self-control when basic needs are denied. It makes you wonder what other primal urges might surface as time goes on.
And then the true orchestrator appears.
Ah.
Not just the fleeting glimpse they had of the initial host,
Yeah.
but someone far older, with eyes that shimmer with an ancient, hungry joy that goes far beyond mere revelry.
Okay.
He holds out a single, overflowing goblet,
Oh.
and the others, the ones still deeply caught in the spell, surge towards it like mindless animals.
Wow.
It's a truly disturbing image of complete and utter loss of agency.
It is. The arrival of this figure and the almost instinctual, animalistic reaction of the others to the goblet clearly indicate the true power and intent behind this horrific party. That ancient, hungry joy in his eyes is a chilling detail, suggesting a long history of such events, a cyclical pattern of entrapment and consumption. It raises the question of what exactly they are consuming and what sustains this entity.
But Emma,
Yeah.
she resists.
Okay.
A surge of fury cuts through the intoxicating haze.
Hmm.
She confronts him, asking the crucial, fundamental questions, who are you?
Oh, wow.
And what did you do to us?
Right.
It's a powerful moment of defiance,
Yeah.
a spark of humanity refusing to be extinguished in the face of this overwhelming horror.
Emma's act of resistance is the pivotal moment in the narrative, isn't it? Even amidst the complete collapse of reality around her and the seemingly irresistible supernatural influence, her anger and her demand for answers provide a vital point of contrast to the other's horrifying compliance. It suggests that even in the darkest circumstances, the human will to understand and resist can endure.
His answer is utterly chilling.
Ooh.
He smiles.
Oh, no.
And even in her terrified state, Emma can perceive his dark charisma.
Uh-oh.
He declares himself a god, Dionysius, the ancient Greek god of revelry, of
Okay.
releasing what's bound too tightly.
Right.
And then he directly confronts her, offering her the overflowing goblet
Oh, no.
and stating that the party needs a new host.
Oh.
It's a direct and terrifying laying out of the horrifying stakes.
The reveal of Dionysus injects a layer of ancient mythology into the horror, giving it a deeper, more unsettling resonance. He's not just some random, malevolent entity. He's a figure traditionally associated with both ecstasy and madness, with the very act of breaking down societal boundaries and inhibitions. This ties directly into the theme of the intoxicating drink and the seductive loss of control that has ensnared the others. It's a perversion of his traditional role, twisting liberation into enslavement.
What follows is a truly grotesque and disturbing scene. The others are described as moaning animals, tearing at each other for the most meager of scraps. Emma, witnessing this horrifying transformation of the people she was just dancing and laughing with, feels not despair, but an intense, burning rage.
Okay.
It's a remarkably powerful reaction, this absolute refusal to succumb, even when confronted with such utter degradation.
Her rage in that moment is incredibly significant. It's a powerful testament to the human spirit's innate capacity for defiance when faced with ultimate dehumanization. It's a visceral rejection of the loss of self and the descent into pure instinct that she's witnessing, and it serves as a potent fuel for her continued resistance.
And in a moment of extraordinary defiance, Emma upends the goblet, Dionysus lets out a primal roar.
Oh.
The relentless music momentarily cuts out, and the others freeze, their eyes clearing with a flash of horror for just a fraction of a second before turning on Emma, their faces contorted with that desperate animalistic hunger.
Oh, wow.
It's an incredibly brave, but also terrifyingly isolating act.
This act of rebellion, while seemingly small against such a powerful entity, carries immense symbolic weight. It's a direct disruption of the god's ritual, even if only for a fleeting moment. It signifies a conscious and absolute rejection of the fate he has intended for her, a refusal to participate in her own destruction.
Emma then makes a desperate retreat, barricading herself in the music room.
Okay.
She has no weapons, no real plan, but she has time and the fading echo of Dionysus's words. She understands with chilling clarity now that this party isn't celebration,
Yeah.
but a carefully constructed trap. A twisted paradise built on a terrible unseen price. She knows what grotesque fate awaits those taken upstairs, a complete warping by endless forced excess. Her decision becomes clear: she will fight. And if she ultimately falls, it will not be willingly taking that cursed goblet, but facing down that monstrous, all-consuming hunger on her own terms.
Her choice to fight, even against what appear to be insurmountable odds, powerfully underscored the central theme of resistance against overwhelming temptation and the insidious erosion of self. She recognizes the true horrifying cost of that endless revelry and makes a conscious decision to maintain her autonomy, her very humanity, even in the face of certain doom.
The narrative concludes with a stark and bleak pronouncement. There aren't any winners at this party.
Oh.
Only victims existing on different terrifying timelines.
Right.
Emma, the story suggests, won't ultimately escape, and her friends are already lost to this horrific cycle.
Oh, wow.
But the crucial element is that this god, Dionysus in this twisted form, seeks willing servants, those who will embrace the intoxication. Emma, through her fierce defiance, becomes a trap sprung empty for him.
That's a profoundly important point. It suggests that Dionysus's power, in this context at least, isn't absolute. It seems to rely, at least in part, on a degree of willing participation. On the seductive allure taking hold, Emma's unwavering refusal, her complete lack of willingness to embrace that intoxicating pull, directly disrupts his carefully laid plans and denies him a complete and effortless victory.
Her continued resistance, though likely a futile gesture against the god's ancient curse, stands as a chilling and powerful contrast to the mindless groans and the relentless pounding music that continues to echo through the mansion. She refuses to become his priestess in this macabre ritual, instead remaining a jarring, discordant note in his symphony of forced indulgence. By rejecting her assigned role in his horrifying game, she remains a final, potent vestige of humanity in this grotesque parody of a celebration.
Exactly. Her defiance transcends mere survival. It transforms her from a potential victim into a powerful symbol of resistance against the seductive nature of unchecked excess and the vital importance of maintaining one's individual agency and moral compass, even when surrounded by overwhelming corruption and temptation.
And with every desperate strike against her barricaded door, Emma is transformed. She's no longer just another broken, reveling victim caught in an endless loop, but a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit that can resist even the most alluring and seductive of horrors. Dionysus may have claimed her and her friends in a physical sense, but Emma's unyielding defiance robs him of complete spiritual victory. Her solitary struggle echoing as a haunting counterpoint to the endless, nightmarish party that rages on all around her. It's a grim but ultimately powerful image of resilience.
Indeed. It speaks to the profound idea that even in the face of inevitable defeat, the human spirit can still assert its intrinsic value through unwavering resistance. Emma's story, while undeniably tragic, becomes a powerful and enduring statement against the deceptive allure of unchecked excess and the fundamental importance of safeguarding one's own autonomy and moral integrity.
It certainly does, reflecting on this terrifying, endless rave.
Yeah.
And Emma's incredible, almost unbelievable, defiant stance against the ancient god of revelry.
Yeah.
It leaves you with a profound sense of unease.
It does.
The very idea of being insidiously trapped in a seemingly endless cycle of something that initially feels so good, so liberating, but ultimately leads to utter horror and the complete loss of self. It's deeply, deeply disturbing.
Absolutely. This narrative masterfully explores those primal human temptations. The seductive pull of losing control and indulging in immediate gratification, and the potentially devastating consequences that can follow when those desires are manipulated by something far more sinister. But as we've discussed, it also shines a light on the surprising and enduring resilience of the human spirit. Even when confronted with a supernatural entity embodying those very temptations, Emma's unwavering refusal to succumb serves as a powerful and inspiring testament to our capacity for defiance.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
What seemingly harmless invitations or experiences in our own lives might, on closer inspection, mask a darker, more inescapable reality. What subtle allure could potentially lead us down a path where we gradually lose ourselves without even consciously realizing it's happening? It's a truly chilling thought to carry with you long after the music fades.
A potent and vital question for us all to consider. It serves as a stark reminder to look beyond the immediate surface-level pleasures and carefully consider the potential long-term costs and consequences of the choices we make and the invitations we accept.
Well said, Julia.
Thank you.
And on that undeniably unsettling note, we conclude our exploration into the horrific, endless rave.
Okay.
Thank you for joining me, Julia.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of the Walking Dread podcast. Make sure to rate and follow for more episodes filled with chilling tales that will hopefully keep you wonderfully spooky, but ultimately safe. Until our next descent into the terrifying, stay aware of those too good to be true invitations.